This is problem 1 on the hyperbola day 1 homework. This is the first problem on the worksheet, the very first one you're going to see if you start this homework. To begin, the graphing form of the equation is given. So we just stick a letter A in front of there. You know that because you're subtracting x squared and y squared. This subtraction symbol is what makes this a hyperbola and not an ellipse. Step B is to indicate the direction. We always say with hyperbolas that a squared is first. It is not necessarily the larger one. In this case, it does happen to be the larger one, but if you want to figure out what the direction is, you have to look at what is first. And that would be the x squared in this case. So this would be a horizontal. What we say is it has a horizontal transverse axis. This is like saying the major axis is along the horizontal and not along the vertical. But in hyperbola, the major axis can actually be smaller than the minor axis, so we have to give them different names. Remember that the major we call a transverse axis now, and the minor we now call the conjugate axis. So that said, we then look at the center. The center is at 0, 0. Because of the x squared and the y squared, x minus 8 squared, y minus k squared. Then we take our break and we figure out what little a, little b, and little c are. This is essential to figuring out the rest of it. Little a is equal to the square root of 81, which is 9. Again, that's because it's first, not because it's the bigger one. Little b is equal to the square root of 49. Then to figure out c squared, or c, we use the equation c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Plug it in, we get c squared is equal to 81 plus 49, or approximately 130. So we're looking for the square root of 130 as our c value. Plug that in, we get the square root of 130 is 11.4. Remember that in a hyperbola, c is always the biggest. So now let's plot our values. We have a center at 0, 0. It's horizontal transverse axis, and that's the direction of the A. So we go left 9, right 9, up 7, down 7. Then for our foci, we're going to have to go right 11.4, and this is okay, we'll just kind of stick it off the graph here a little bit, and left 11.4. Back to the parts. It's asking for A and B. Well, A is 9, B is 7. We've already done that. Then it's asking for the coordinates of the foci. Since they're along the x-axis, we're going to say plus or minus a radical 130, comma 0, or to state the approximate, plus or minus 11.4, comma 0. Then we get to the graphing, which can be one of the more fun parts if you let it be. We're going to draw a rectangle that goes through both vertices, or both pairs of vertices. And then you're going to draw your asymptotes. These are straight lines. I guess I can use the line tool. Centered at the center. I'll just kind of sketch this out. It goes like, oh, that's not a good one. It goes like this, and like this. Then out there. And down here. Then for the final step, just make sure you put your pencil on the vertex and not on the focus. And you go out this way, and out that way. From the vertex almost to the asymptote, but never quite touching it. And you're done.